Imagine waking up one morning to find your country at war. And before you've even finished breakfast, the war is over. No months of fighting, no years of trenches, not even a full hour. On August 27, 1896, two nations went to war. By the time the smoke cleared, the conflict was already over. Yet in those brief minutes, a palace was reduced to rubble, hundreds of lives were lost, and the course of a nation was changed forever. This is the story of the Anglo-Zanzibar War, the shortest recorded war in modern history. In the late 19th century, the island of Zanzibar was one of the most important trading centers in East Africa. Its strategic location made it valuable to powerful European empires competing for influence across the continent. Although Zanzibar had its own sultan, Britain held enormous political influence over the kingdom. Under agreements between Britain and Zanzibar, the sultan could not assume power without British approval. For years, this uneasy arrangement maintained stability. But in August 1896, everything changed. On August 25th, Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini died unexpectedly. Within hours, another royal family member, Khalid bin Bargash, seized the palace and declared himself the new sultan. There was just one problem. Britain refused to recognize him. British officials believed Khalid had taken power illegally and demanded that he step down immediately. Instead, Khalid fortified the palace. He gathered nearly 3,000 supporters, including palace guards, civilians, and artillery. Machine guns were positioned. Cannons faced the harbor. The palace prepared for battle. Across the water, British warships quietly took their positions. Both sides knew what might happen next. Britain delivered one final message. Khalid had until 9 a.m. on August 27th to surrender. If he refused, the Royal Navy would open fire. As the deadline approached, tension spread across Zanzibar. British sailors stood ready at their guns. Inside the palace, Khalid remained defiant. The clock ticked toward 9. The deadline passed. Then, at exactly 9:02 a.m., the first shells screamed through the air. The bombardment was devastating. Within minutes, much of the palace was engulfed in flames. Cannons were destroyed before they could mount an effective defense. One of Zanzibar's ships, the HHS Glasgow, exchanged fire with the British fleet before being heavily damaged and sinking in the harbor. Smoke filled the skyline. Walls collapsed. The battle was effectively over almost as soon as it had begun. At approximately 9:40 a.m., the Sultan's flag was lowered. The fighting stopped. The war had lasted between 38 and 45 minutes. It remains the shortest recorded war in modern history. As British forces advanced, Khalid bin Bargash fled the palace. He sought refuge inside the German consulate. British troops surrounded the building but stopped short of entering. Doing so would have violated diplomatic protections. Weeks later, German officials secretly helped Khalid escape to German East Africa. The man whose refusal had triggered the shortest recorded war in modern history vanished into exile. With Khalid gone, Britain installed a new sultan, one who was willing to work with British authorities. The fighting had lasted less than an hour. The political balance of Zanzibar had shifted permanently. Today, the Anglo-Zanzibar War is often remembered for a single number, 38 minutes. But that number tells only part of the story. Behind it was a struggle over power, empire, and influence during the scramble for Africa. For the people of Zanzibar, the consequences lasted far longer than the battle itself. In less than an hour, Britain's military superiority reshaped the future of Zanzibar. It remains a reminder that history isn't always defined by how long an event lasts. Sometimes the shortest moments leave the deepest mark. History remembers. We uncover. Thank you for watching. Until next time. This is Arcanum.